Hey, yo, whoa. This is another episode of And Ski's Opinion with your gracious and humble host, Ski. This is the show about everything and nothing at all, where I, Ski, go over trending topics and what's going on in our everyday world. Let's kick into the show, you guys. Let's get into the show. It's been a lot happening this week. I would also like to say Happy New Year's to everybody. I had a pretty good New Year's, I would say. I hope that you guys have had a pretty decent New Year's as well. So, first thing first, let's jump into this. First topic will be 50 Cent and Papoose. 50. My man Pap coming at you. 50 Pap having the AI wars, right? So, there's been a lot of things going on, going back and forth about Remy and Pap. Pap supposedly being with Remy for Christmas and being caught up on this video at the store with her shopping for furs, right? So 50, you got jokes, man. So he posted up a thing that says, that shows a video of an old movie and had AI digitally imposed Papoose and Remy Ma face on these actors. And it was pretty hilarious. I would say it's creative, but it showed this woman, which is supposed to be Clarissa Shields, whooping on Pat, 50 put on the post, now this is a bruise. You just can't go around putting your hands on everybody, right? So, Pap, my man Pap, he was not playing. He came right back at 50, you guys. And digitally imposed 50's face on the stripper's body. And this looked wild. I mean, the faces that 50 was making, the way that the AI digitally with the body or whatever, it looked wild. I don't think it was even right. That was kind of foul. So he come back and he posts, 50 with that. And Pap say 50 is dodging the Let's Rap About It podcast, squatters rights freestyle, and that 50 is scared to respond back to Fat, right? He told 50 to get into the studio, asked him, do he need a ghostwriter, champ? And then switched it to chump, like, Pap ain't playing, said, man, I got it. What it is. Papoose is coming at 50 with a vengeance. I mean, he coming at him, he called him out on stuff. Now, my question is this, you guys. I seen a couple more things that's been posted, and I'll speak on that a little later. But the question I do want to ask is this. Do you guys agree with Papoose as far as 50 Cent responding to Let's Rap About It podcast? And I'm gonna say, Pap has a point, right? As far as 50 not responding to them with bars or raps, right? But I would also have to say, 50 haven't done that in years. Like, I think the last beef he done where he would actually put some bars on wax, and I don't think he really did it that much even in that beef, was with Rick Ross. So do we really expect 50 Cent to come back with bar? I know people like, yeah, that's how he came in, he was this and this and that. Yeah, but he really attacked Jab, and it was over the situation of the man almost losing his life. So was he justified in coming at people? Was he justified in attacking others, along the way? And I would say, I don't know. Like, I don't know how you supposed to feel, if somebody try to take your life, do you ever let up? I don't know. So, but as far as rapping, I don't know if we expected him to come back with a response with bars. I may be surprised, and I think if he does come back with bars, believe me, it's gonna be something, And I don't want people to like just sit here and be like, because I heard something else on another podcast about the person kind of speaking on how basically now it sounds like they're trying to kind of say 50 is trash as far as battle rapping, like he only really beat Ja Rule, and saying that Jadakiss and them smoked them and Rick Ross and them smoked them as well. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do another podcast. It was on Wayno's show. It was on I Do It Myself. And Wayno's entitled to his opinion. I understand what he's saying as far as that, but I don't know if I want to go as far as saying that they washed them, when I think Bank said something. He kind of said like they washed the whole G, and I think Bank came back with a diss within that battle with Jada and them, and it was kind of hard. As far as, it wasn't Rick Ross, and it was hard. But as far as the Jada thing, I think it was 50 Cent battling them by itself, and all that. I think Buck came out with a diss or something, or responds back to something, right? So when you come to that, like, you can't really say it when you're being jumped, like that. Three rappers who actually can rap as well too. That's lyrical, So, but he held his own, against him. You said the piggy bank is, and yeah, it was comical, but that's what I think it was made to be. But as far as bars of him coming out with that, I just don't expect it from Fifth, because he hasn't been doing that. Now, is he gonna come with something like a meme or something that he's digging that he's coming up to expose some people about some questionable thing? As far as Fab and, Jimmy and all them, like, he already kind of exposed Jimmy with, Jimmy had to hurry up and spend the money and pay the guy who owned warehouse or whatever that they had. Like, he was right on that. So it made Jimmy have to, Jimmy paid his bills, What you think he's gonna come with as far as that? And then as far as Troll, and I think I seen something where he came back at Pap with another meme or something that he made up with Pap or whatever, now with Remy. He was a Remy face he posed on a digital info. But I don't know, people, like, I don't know if why we think that he's gonna come back with bars. Like, I don't see that, like trolling and throwing memes like that out there. Yeah, I can see that. That's coming. A lot more, right? Of that is coming. I'm surprised that it hasn't been more in action as far as how he come back, but I think that the guy is working on something. He's diabolical, you guys. Please remember that. Do not count this dude out. He will not stop. He's relentless. So be expecting to see something outlandish coming from that man that's gonna ish all over Let's Talk About It podcast. And now Pap can put himself into it. See, Pap is wishing, he's hoping that 50 try to come with bars so he can, do his, but that's not, now he's not going to give you that satisfaction to go back and forth, even if you can beat him lyrically. And that may be a possibility. I'm not going to count Pap out, but he's not going to give you that opportunity. You're not going to get that shine off there, right? I think he's going to expose something on you that's going to probably hurt you even more, because you kind of look cornballish the way that Remy and is ishing on you. So I'm going to say, I think that you might have a problem. I don't know, you guys. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that Papoose has a problem? I think he has a problem on his hand. Shouldn't be speaking on it. If all right. Next topic I'm gonna touch on will be the Tyler Perry accusations, you guys. Now, this is something that's sick and hilarious at the same time, right? Sick because of the predatory type of behavior that, if true, that Tyler Perry is exhibiting. I'm gonna have to put some type of factual basis to this situation with Tyler Perry because of Tyler Perry coming out with the um, text messages from this guy. So you gave validity to what the guy is saying. So something happened there. Either he was scheming you, you were scheming him. There's some homosexual, type of behavior that's going on there. He mentioned certain things. You show text messages with the guy asking and begging you for money, and help or whatever. Um, the guy came up with a story that sounds unbelievable if you think that he actually did not understand or know what was going on or what was being propositioned with him coming to see or meet up even with Tyler Perry. He's never acted before. He's just gonna give you a movie shot just because of how you look or what he saw you as whatever. But I would say that can be true as well. Two things can be true because people get picked out of the security just for a look or something that was needed there and end up getting a big break that way. So it happens, but for him to invite you over to his home and then let's go into the movie theater and let's do that, and then he supposedly, it just, if this is about a movie and he's trying to cast you for it, wouldn't you be at some type of office building and wouldn't it be him and two, three other people like casting agents and casting directors that's sitting there watching you read over these lines and seeing if you're a good fit, if you can make it work or whatever, why would you have to go meet him at his home? So that always throws me when you hear that. Like, I'm not trying to victim blame, but I would say that the naivete is kind of hard to believe, I would say. That you didn't think that it was something different because of the settings of what he wanted you guys to have this meeting, right? So I don't get that part. But to sit here and act like we all haven't thought about Tyler Perry being that way, you guys, and there's nothing wrong with being that way. Nothing wrong with it. Come out, be who you want to be, live the life that you want to live. I have no problem with it. Um, that's what you want to do. That's what you could do. I don't have no judgment as far as that, anymore. Um, I would say um, it's not my business to do that, right? That's not my job to judge anyone for whatever they are. So I'm going to say, but we all kind of knew that. You paid attention to his movies, you could see it. Not just him dressing up as Medea, but even in his roles as males. Um, he's the quintessential good guy that always understands the female, right? Even when he being done wrong by a female, he still is that guy who understands her plight and he'll take her back or whatever. Whatever it is, it's just always female leaning, right? So I thought that it was an identity crisis there as far as not just him dressing up as Medea, you guys. Like, I'm just saying, like, well, your storylines, the way you look at things. These movies he wrote as well, so you feel like that for them, right? Because you want to be one of them. Or your brain works that way because you have the same likes and interests and things like that as women, right? So I think that. Now, as far as the predatory things, I wouldn't give an excuse for that. I would say that something has happened to him, not because he's gay or LGBTQ, but because I think something happened to him because of the predatory way that he reacts or he does things, right? And the way that he's coming at these guys. But in these situations, I don't think it's in this situation. I don't think it's a victim. I don't know if he has victimized someone, before or whatever. That's not my place to. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not a psychic. I don't know, But I would say in this situation, it doesn't seem like it's a victim, right? Because I feel like the guy was complacent in this situation because for that to happen to you twice and you supposedly left to come back to still continue conversations with this man and still continue to ask this man for money and favors, right? Even with him coming at you like that and you're not like that, right? So I think like even if he was playing the game, but I think that it's something there with the guy as well, right? But I just don't get it, right? I don't understand it. Like that's why I said I have no problem with it, but I don't like the fact that people had it like that, right? And in this day and age, there's no reason for it. It's not, like the world is out to the world. Everybody knows that this is going on. Everybody, for the most part, accepting it, and most people do. Like even if you accept it or not, like you don't have a problem with it. You don't have an opinion on it one way or another, right? So it's like pointless right now to have it and be in the closet and then the predatory thing that comes to me or in mind with me is that the thing of, I'm gonna say, you are targeted straight men. In some cases, I think, what you're doing, the tactics that you're doing, in lieu of you holding this power as far as the dynamic of you can help them with their career or financially or whatever, right? So it's something that needs to be said as far as that as well. And that being said, I'm gonna say that don't be surprised to hear more and more people coming out saying something's happened to them. I'm not going to touch too much more on this. Like I said, I don't have much on. I just did want to kind of touch on it a little bit as far as because you keep hearing about it. I think that's the second case someone came out and said that he did something to them or to this effect. So, I don't know. Next topic I'm going to jump into will be my man, your man. Man, Dr. Umar Johnson is back outside, you guys. Dr. Fake Tumbe. Bop, bop, boom, day. Ha, ha, you say. No, no. But my man, our man, Umar Johnson is back outside. Looks like Art of the Dialogue has been interviewing him like he was doing Gene Deal, right? now that the Puffy thing is out, he don't need Gene no more because the story is stale. You know, everybody knows everything. We heard it all, right? So you move on. He moves on to Dr. Umar Johnson. So Dr. Umar Johnson was on Art of Dialogue, and they interviewed him on a bunch of different topics to get the idea of the good doctor, right? So Art asked Dr. Umar about the Nicki Minaj scenario, right? And Dr. Dr. Umar, he come with, his interpretation of the situation. He said that he feels like they are using Mrs. Minaj because right now Candace Owens has been on a tangent as far as her Israel views, and they need someone to kind of act Candace Owens now that she's kind of going astray to what their agenda is. So, if you know Dr. Umar, then you all know that he got a million conspiracy theories about what's going on and why it's going on, right? So, but a lot of times, or some of the things that he hit on, I would say, be kind of truthful. When you look into it a little bit more yourself and do your own research. You can't take everything he's saying. He said he'd been building a school for 14 years. That's neither here nor there. But anyway, he come up with that, and then he said that he was bothered by the sister saying that she feels like it shouldn't take for young black kids to feel pride in themselves, but to hurt another race of kids, right? I made a video on Nick, and as I listened to him and him break that down, right, I was ashamed too, to that point, right? Because, sister, you should know that a black child taking pride in who they are and their culture and what their heritage is should never offend or make any other race feel away, right? But for you to say that or feel the need to say that and this, I'm not gonna say nothing about this woman, but this woman who feel like we beneath them to sit there and shake her head and agree with you with this being her, and you saying this in a way, in a voice that's of a European accent, right? I know that we all know that Nicki, she is a character, right? And she always got the act on. She's always putting it on, right? I don't think there's a time that she's not on, right? Whenever those cameras flip. So for that to be said, I would have to say that I think I am going to be on a chill from her as well. I always like to try to have some type of understanding or empathy, I would say, for my own people. And seeing sister going through what she was going through, I thought it was a midlife crisis, a breakdown. I just don't know now. The more that I look into this, it seems like a ploy. And I would have to agree with some of my viewers, I would say, within you guys' comments with saying that we should not excuse her behavior. And I don't want to say Dr. Umar gave me that idea to look more into what's going on and what her agenda really is. But I'm going to say he sparked something, as well as two of my viewers who sent me comments about my last show with me mentioning Nicki Minaj's situation, right? So I would say I'm open to admitting when I might have misspoken or looked at a situation not wholeheartedly, but just from a part of me being black and my blackness blinding me to seeing what was really being going on. So, with that being said, yeah, I think I'm gonna back off Nick. She lost me right now as a fan, and right now as a consumer of what she has to say. So I'm not going to be paying attention to that. It's probably my last time even speaking on it. But I'm going to go back into what Dr. Umar, said about what's going on with her, and the agenda that he thinks that they're trying to play with. With her, which I would have to kind of agree. She's just giving them another ammunition of another bitter black woman that would talk down and bad about her people in order to advance herself, right? So I gotta give Umar that, right? Like I said, you guys, I'm not here to bash people just because of some of the things that they do. It's questionable and I don't agree with. But when someone's right, I'll be the first one to tell you that you're right. And him speaking on that situation, I would say he's right. Like I said in the beginning of this, Dr. Umar is back outside. These interviews are going viral. Clips are going viral of him with his interpretation and what he's been speaking on as far as his F the street comments and the things that he feel about that. It made sense to me. I would say I have to agree a bit there. It's just been interesting, just catching up with what's going on with Umar and where he's been with it, right? So that's all I have to say for right now about Dr. Umar. Dr. Umpe Dumpe. Papa Bumpe.